Hi everyone. I hope that everyone's doing well on this great Sunday afternoon. It is raining, but hey, it doesn't matter. It's God's day. I'm gonna show you how to prepare a simple leg of pork. This is about a 4-pound bone-in natural pork from Publix. I have friends at work, shout out Miss Richardson and Mrs. Artil, that have asked me over and over again, how do you do your Cuban pork? And this is actually my second posting of the Cuban Mama cooking channel. If you want to follow me on Cuban Mama cooking, it's one word, Cuban Mama, one word cooking channel on YouTube. But this video will be on there as well, and I'm going to put it on Facebook as well. So anyways, I've started by coating all my pork. I said it's 4 pounds, all my pork with olive oil. And this is basically the olive oil I use. It doesn't matter. I use the dark kind of olive oil. And I have everything else set up over here. Shout out to my friends that told me you have to give us measurements. We don't know how to do it like your mom does it. So I put all the measurements out here. The first thing I want to start with is these oranges. These are not sweet oranges. They're called naranjas agrias, and they come from Miami. But I'm sure you can find them here in Tampa, or you can get them at some type of produce area. Again, they're not sweet. They're sour oranges. If you don't have these, then you can use the Cecilia lime and lemon juice instead, and you can use about 3 teaspoons of each and mix it, and then that'll replace this. Okay, so that's one product that I don't know if you could find. So if you can't find that, do these. Anyways, or a natural lime and lemon would work as well. For measurements, I would use those. Okay, so another thing that so first you start by basically at your own, need. I put a lot of olive oil, and you're like, why are you putting olive oil? Well, because I'm not roasting this outside. I'm roasting it in the oven, but it tastes just like if it was in a caja china, which is a traditional Cuban and Latin way, actually, of roasting a pig. It tastes just like lechon asado or lechon outside. So anyways, I put my olive oil. I'm gonna be adding more olive oil as I go. So after you check it, after a couple of hours or an hour or so, if it seems dry, add more olive oil as you go. Now, I told my kids at school, shout out to Northside, hola, always a Mustang. I told my kids at school that when we cook, Cubans and the Caribbean, basically, we always put a dash, or at least my mom taught me that way, a pinch of sugar, because we don't like bitterness and we don't like caliente spices or hot peppers. We're more fried plantains, sugary versus hot peppers. So this is basically a pinch of sugar that I have here, and I use brown sugar, and I'm gonna coat it first and foremost with that, and it's just a pinch, so you don't need a lot of it. And now this is the part that, even though everything is simple, the ingredients, this is the hard part. You gotta stick your hands in everything. So I like to give my little meat a little hands-on roasting, I call it. Technically, I would have done this at night yesterday, but we had church this morning, and yesterday was a long night, so I didn't get to. So I'm doing it today, and it would be ready within hours, ready to eat. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna explain all of these, and then I'm gonna show you how to put them together, and I'll stop talking. So this is the salt, and I put 2 teaspoons of salt. Again, you could use sea salt. The preference is up to you. This is oregano, and it's, kind of ground oregano, 2 teaspoons. This is sazon completo, or complete seasoning. Again, you could get that at Publix, 2 teaspoons. This is, believe it or not, soy sauce. Yes, 2 teaspoons to make it nice and toasty and roasty. And then one of the most important ingredients in lechon is of course, it's garlic. So I chopped up a whole garlic, or as my husband looked up on the internet, a knob. I know what it's called in Spanish, but in English it's called a knob of garlic. And I also have some garlic that's been minced. Just in case you don't want to do this, you can use this instead. I'm using both to help you. So this is a whole garlic, and this is 1.5 teaspoons of the other kind. So if you're just going to use this one, I would use 4 teaspoons of that, okay? So now that you know all the ingredients, and I know I talk fast, so you can go back and re-listen to all that, I'm going to show you how to prepare it. It's super, super duper easy. So I put the sugar and the olive oil. I'm going to go first with the salt. Like, again, I know it looks like a lot, but pork is one of these things that if you don't put enough salt, it's not gonna taste right. So you just basically dig it in there. Okay, I'm gonna put the oregano. Again, you know, you look at what size you have. You just, you know, oregano for some reason makes pork taste really good. At least the one my mom makes. And maybe I've altered a little bit my mom's recipe through the years, but she's still the best cook I know. You've met my mom, you know. Sazón completo. And then this is 2 teaspoons. So again, if you think it's too much, you put it on the side. You just, you know, you have 2 teaspoons there to measure. I put about a teaspoon in there now, or less. Okay, I'm gonna put the soy sauce. Ah, I bet you my friends in Miami, you see me, shout out Mariela and Barbie and Mari. I bet you didn't know I put soy sauce. Yep, that's my little altar. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the sazón completo away. I think that's enough. I'm going to now show you the most important part. I have pre-opened holes in my pork, okay? And I am literally going to stuff my pork with the garlic. Again, since I cut up natural garlic, I'm gonna go to the holes I made. I made a lot of holes with a good knife. And then I'm gonna just, you know, love it with some garlic, stuff it like a turkey. That's my best example, okay? You know how you stuff a good turkey? Stuff it like a turkey. I'm gonna get the rest of the garlic and I'm just gonna marinate it. Throw the rest in the sink. My daughter is filming and she's probably like, yum, mom, I can't wait for dinner time. Where do I eat this with? Now I'm gonna do the naranja agria, or you would do your lime juice. We eat this with anything. We'll eat it tomorrow probably for lunch with some bread, Cuban bread, or even baguettes. So if you're at Northside tomorrow, you might smell it, okay? But tonight we'll eat it with moro, which that's another day. I gotta teach you how to make moro if you don't know already, and that's the Cuban/Caribbean black beans and rice cooked together. Very famous, okay? So as you see, I make sure my pork smells really good already. I'm sure my daughter agrees. You can smell it on the other side of this camera. And then I'm gonna make sure to evenly distribute that. Again, you're gonna have to check on this meat. Ideally, you would do this I would have done this last night, but you know, in this house, it was hard enough for me to tell everybody to be nice and quiet so I could film, or I told them, you know, either I film nice and quiet or you all come out doing life, including my son on his new recorder. Thank you, Fine Arts Department. So I'm done. Now I'm going to wash my hands, of course, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to cover it with foil because we don't have a lot of time to cook it because we're going to church tonight. But normally I wouldn't cover it with oil at first. I would let it roast. But I'm going to cover it with foil, right? And then I'm going to stick it in the oven at 425, which I've already made. I've already preset. And at 425, I'm going to make sure this is covered really nice and tight. I'm going to check it every hour because it's not a big piece of pork. It should be done by 4 o'clock, so about 4 hours or 3 hours at 425. Once it's done and tender to the fork, you are going to take this foil off, okay? Once it's done and tender to the fork, you're going to take this foil off and you're going to let it roast for another 30 minutes or broil. I leave it just in there. I don't even put broil, and it just gets nice and toasty. I don't know if you noticed, but I put skin side. It's very little skin, but I put skin side up while it's cooking, okay? And then I just literally stick it in the oven and check on it. And that's it. I will post a picture of the pork completed so that you can see what the final product looks like. Adios.